Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga 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 Nitai 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 Gauranga Nitai 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 Gauranga Nitai 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 Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari Gaur Nityananda Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Nityananda Bol Hari Bol Shri Advaita Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Shri Advaita Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Gadadhara Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bol Gaur Shivasa Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So first I'll give pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnupad Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, then our Rupanuga Guru Varga, all Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. So this morning we were discussing the different ingredients of ras. Can you remember them, Padabja?
I was in the kitchen. Vibhav,
Vibhav,
Staibhav, Anubhav,
Vyabhachari,
Vabhachari, Bhav, and
Satvik.
What?
Satvik, Satvik. Satvik bhavs.
Satvik.
Hair standing on end, voice choked,
Okay.
changing color. So, one free cup full of sabji for Padabja as first prize. So, also, Vibhav has two divisions, Udipan and Alamban, right? So, we're hearing the 64 qualities of Krishna. Can you remember any of them? Come on, at least one.
His limbs are very attractive.
Right.
Venu.
Huh?
Doesn't mean it's the fruit thing.
Yeah, be a bit more specifically. Anyway, so 50 qualities are in the jiva. Okay, should we go through them one more time? Or?
Yeah.
The construction of his limbs is exceedingly beautiful. His body is marked with all auspicious characteristics. His beauty is a festival of bliss for the eyes. His body is radiant. He is powerful and influential. He possesses great strength. Even though he possesses old age, he is eternally youthful. He is expert in different languages. Monkeys, everything. His words never prove false. He speaks pleasantly even to offenders. His word... proof that Krishna's words are only partially present in the jivas. He is learned and always behaves appropriately. His intelligence is sharp. He is expert at improvising original conversation on the spur of the moment. He is skilled in the 64 arts. He can accomplish many actions at the same time. You know, like when Kalyavan was coming from one direction, then at the same time Jarasandha was coming. What Krishna did, in one activity he bewildered Jarasandha and killed Kalyavan at the same time. He is expert and grateful. His promises are always true. He's expert judge of time, place, circumstance. He always acts in accordance with the scriptures. He is free from sins. He is in full control of his senses. He perseveres until his work is completed. He endures even intolerable distress. He excuses the offense of others. Very difficult to understand his mind. We heard all this. No? 50 qualities in the jivas. 5 qualities are partially present in Shiva and Brahma. He is never controlled by Maya. Not fully. Even Shiva, when Krishna tests him. He knows the hearts of everyone, Sarvagya. His beauty is always ever fresh. His body is concentrated, Satchidananda. All mystic powers are in his hand. 5 qualities are present in Vishnu and Mahavishnu, Narayan and Mahavishnu. He possesses inconceivable potencies. Unlimited universes are situated in his body. He is the source of all incarnations. He wards Hatigari Dak. He awards a superior destination to those he kills. He attracts the liberated souls towards himself. What's going on, Padabja?
What?
We're just talking about the 64 qualities of the souls.
Yeah.
Free from restlessness is one of them. And 4 qualities only Krishna possesses, no one else possesses. What are they?
Leela Madhuri.
Sweetness of his pastimes.
Venu Madhuri.
Venu Madhuri, sweetness of... Come on, Damayanti, what's the next one?
Rupa.
Rupa Madhuri and Prema.
Prem.
Only Krishna is controlled by Prema, no other incarnation like that. So, 64 qualities of Krishna, this is also stimulates feelings in the heart of the devotee. So as well, we should know that Krishna, there are 90, I think. Krishna performs his pastimes in 3 places: Vrindavan, Mathura, Jagannath, Dwarka. In each of these 3 places, he has 2 moods, married or unmarried. 3 times 2 is 6. In each of these 6, there is 4 types of heroes. Dhirodat, so 6 fours, 24. 24 times 6.
But how could Krishna be married in Vrindavan?
Also.
Huh?
Some gopis exchange garlands, but there's no hut, there's no fire sacrifice. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions in it Ujjvala Nilamani, Kiran. Some gopis also, Swakiyas there, they exchange garlands like Gandharva marriage. They feel Krishna is my husband, but actually there's no real marriage, but that feeling is there a little bit. And 4 heroes, 4 types of hero: Dhirodat, Dhiralit, Dhirshant, Dhirodhat. Dhirodat, a hero who is very grave, humble, forgiving, compassionate. He never boasts. He's extremely powerful. This is called Dhirodat. Example is like Lord Ram. A Dhirodhat, who is malicious, proud, deceitful, angry, fickle, and boastful, is known as Dhirodhat. Example is Bhimsen. Remember Arjuna's brother. Oh, there's a what?
Nothing.
Do you think they sounded like Damodar Maharaj? Not really.
Not really.
Although these characteristics appear to be faults in the eyes of the fault finders, they are accepted as qualities when they're in Sri Krishna. No. A dear Shant, who is always peaceful, tolerant of miseries, judicious, and humble, is known as Dir Shant. Example is Yudhisthira Maharaj. And Dir Lalit, right? That is our Ishtadev in Vrindavan, right? Dir Lalit Madhav. Remember him? Think back. There he is. The hero who is expert in all 64 arts. No? When Krishna went to Sandipani's ashram, in 64 days he learned the 64 arts. Actually, he always has them with him. No, like can assume any disguise. I shall not melt. No, never. Silence. So, like playing music on water, taking any disguise, right? Expert cook, all these things Krishna manifest in Braj Lila. So, Dear Lalit, who is expert in the 64 arts, sit. Maybe you can move forward, Padabja.
Jagannath Prabhu. Hey, Jagannath.
No, don't disturb Jagannath.
Don't want to go to
Who is expert in the 60 days of... Are you listening, Parak Brahma?
I'm listening.
64 qualities of Krishna, you missed that.
Always.
4 different type of Nayak, 4 different heroes. These all give different types of feelings, ras in the heart of devotee. So dear Lalit, who is expert in the 64 arts, who is always youthful, expert at joking. Nischint means no anxiety. Krishna have no tension. He has no job, no duties. What's his job? Little cow grazing. Even he's not too much dedicated to that. So Krishna have no anxiety. Nischint. He's always youthful, expert at joking, and always controlled by the prem of the gopis. This is Dear Lalit Nayak. Shri Krishna clearly manifests the qualities of Dear Lalit Nayak. No? But also sometime in different leelas, he's also taking these other qualities. No? So, 4 type of heroes. Can you remember them? Dhirodhat, Dhirodhat, Dear Lalit, Dear Shant. 4 type of Nayaks. Doing pastimes where? Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka. In which mood? Parikya and Swakya. And if you look in Jaivedama, there's 6 other like specialities of Krishna. You know? Anyway, you can read that. So what's 6 times 24?
144.
Okay, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's 4. Anukul, when Krishna is too much favorable to Radhika, that's called Anukul Nayak. Sat means he's saying, Radhika, I love you, but his mind is somewhere else. That Sat means duplicitous. So anyway, so total of 96 different moods of Krishna. 96. So these are all vibhav. Devotee hears about all these qualities, then it stimulates ras. No? So, also, Vishaya, Krishna means 2 forms. Sometimes Krishna is in disguise also. Like how many disguises Krishna takes in Vrindavan. You know? So Anyarup, when Krishna manifests, no, all the young ladies had desire, all the young gopis had desire, we want to marry Krishna. All the mothers and fathers said, we love Krishna like a son, but I wish he was my own son. I could feed him breast milk, I could cook for him directly. No? All the cows also had desire, we want Krishna to directly drink our milk. No? So all Brijbasi had some desire, some in Vatsalya, some in like Madhuriras. So that's why Krishna with Yogamaya inspired Brahma to come and steal all the boys and calves. Then Krishna again became all the boys and calves from his own. I mean, he expanded himself in all these forms. So that's called Anyarup and Swayamrup, his personal form. You know? Swayamrup also 2 types. You know? Prakat and Anyarup. Sometimes Krishna comes in disguise. How many disguises Krishna takes? You know? Especially when Radhika is in Man. Radhika is too much angry. I won't see any black thing. No. So that time Radhika orders her Sakhis, especially the Manjaris, Kapat Narayan, this Krishna, I know he take many, many disguises, but don't let him take 1 foot inside my coins. That time, how many disguises Krishna takes? Sometimes he dresses as Shama Sakhi. No, that time even Radhika cannot understand this is Krishna. Yogamaya, so wonderful. No? Sometimes Krishna comes as bangle seller. Ladies in India wear these bangles. So before they buy them, normally it's a lady who sells bangles because the lady has to put the bangles on the wrist, so she grabs your hand, not that I've had them put on, but she squeezes your hand and puts the bangles on like that. Then Radhika, when she sees all these different colored bangles, she becomes attracted. So Krishna grabs her hand and squeezing and putting on the bangle. Then Radhika understand, who is this? Then they laugh so much. Sometimes Krishna comes in disguise and he puts some like marigolds, big marigolds in his choli. So they look like breasts. Then Krishna comes in, and then somehow he melts Radhika's heart in disguise. Then Radhika can little understand this is Krishna. Lalita also gives some indication. So Radhika says, "Oh, my Saki, you've done so much good for me. I want to give you some gift." Then Krishna said, "No, just your affection is enough." Krishna in disguise as Shama Saki. No, I want to give you my own sari." Then Krishna begins perspiring, no? Then Krishna says, "Okay, I'll take it and I'll wear it at home." Then Radhika glances, the gopis surround him. No, why not just change here? We're all girls, nothing to hide. Krishna begins to perspire. The gopis grab him to strip him of his gopi dress. Then these two flowers fall out. Then gopis too much laughing. So this also one ras, one type of happening. And how many disguises Krishna takes, no one can count. So this is also a Visaya. This is also one taste of ras. Anyway, so many divisions. So Krishna's qualities, Krishna's activities, Krishna's dress and ornaments. Like Krishna's dress, always wearing mostly pitamba, like a golden flash of lightning. Krishna's smile, Krishna's bodily fragrance, Krishna's flute. Krishna has a buffalo horn also with gold on both ends. This is called mandragosh, in case you need to know. Balaram also, sometimes the coward boys are so expert, they can make horns out of leaves. I know in Australia people can whistle with a leaf. Anyway. So Krishna's ankle bells, Krishna's conch shell, Krishna's footprints. When Akrura was going to Vrindavan, he saw the footprints of Krishna in Nandagram, and he fell on the ground in ecstasy. The holy places, Tulsi, the devotees, and the holy days, especially tomorrow is Ekadasi. So all these things are called Udipan Vibhav. They all give feelings in the heart of the devotee. Right. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur too much, right? And each of these 14 ingredients, he goes through them all. How much deep is he is. No? Krishna has 3 flutes. One is the Venu. Nine inches long. How old is 9? 9 inches is what? Like that. The Murali, which is 30 inches long. 36 inches, the Murali. That's like that, right? What's wrong?
I'm just cold and I'm just agitated. Sorry, no.
She's reptile. She has no fear of the cold. So, anyway, so Krishna's Murali is 9 inches long. The Venu is 36 inches long. Venu is 9 inches long. Murali is 36 inches long. And the Vamsi is 12 3/4 inches. Who's doing the measurements, right? With 9 holes. The Venu has 6 holes. The Murali has 4 holes, very deep. And the Vamsi has 9 holes. Even the distance of each hole from another hole, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur giving all this knowledge.
See, they're using inches, not centimeters.
Yes.
Like the British.
Thank you for that deep contribution to the topics of Bhakti Ras. Anyway. So the Anubhavs, these are the activities which follow the mood, the follow insight. I think we can give pranam to all this. We discussed this. We discussed most of these already. No? The 33 Vyabhacharis we discussed also this morning. Wow. Okay. So now is the Gaunarati. We discussed the 5 Mukhiratis. Santa, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. So that's also 7 Gona ratis. These are called secondary ratis. Hava. What are they? Okay, what are the 7 secondaries? First is hasirati, laughing. The cheerfulness of the heart that is experiencing upon witnessing unusual alterations of speech, dress, activities, and so on is called hasirati. Like we discussed when the gopis catch Krishna's choli and the flowers fall out. This is unusual alteration of speech, dress, or activities. So something extraordinary, then gopis too much laughing. No? Also in Santa-rasa, of course, it's so much there. No, like pakoras are there. Pakoras have cauliflower. So Krishna pulls out the cauliflower from his pakora and puts in the chili. Madhumangal, too much greedy, I want. Krishna throws him the chili pakora. So when Madhumangal, then he becomes red and all this, then all the gopis, too much laughing. An unusual alteration of speech, dress, or activities. And even this world, something unusual or wonderful, then we laugh. So this is also in spiritual life. In Hasiras, there is expansion of the eyes. Right? When we laugh, then the nose vibrates, the lips and cheeks vibrate. When laughter arising from speech, dress, and activities which are related to Krishna, and receives nourishment from the primary, the Mukhya Rati, this is called Hasirati. Like in Vatsalya Ras is the Mukhya Rati, the main mood. But like baby Krishna, for example, Nanda Baba is worshipping the Shalagram Shila. Because he prays, may Narayan always protect my son. With that mood, he worships the Shalagram. Then Krishna's watching, baby watching. No? Baba's giving milk bath, honey bath, ghee bath, cream bath. Then Krishna may be asking Baba, what's this? But Baba not speaking because cannot speak during worship. Then Krishna thinking, this Shalagram, how much good life. No? Imagine how sweet he is. So Nanda Baba turns away for 1 second. Krishna takes the Shalagram and puts in his mouth. No? Then Baba looks, Shalagram is gone. Where is it gone? Then he looks, Krishna is. Anyway, this is one example. Then, of course, all gopis too much laughing. So this Hasiras comes, then goes, disappears.
And parents also laughing.
Huh?
Parents also.
Well, must be afterwards when they're talking about it, who will not laugh? No?
So then Hasiras in Vatsalya.
All rasas. Some rasas, it's not too much prominent. That's called ras abas. Like in Santa-rasa, I don't know how much they're laughing and all those things. No? But that will also be discussed here. If some ras is like clashing, then it's called rasabas. Bishmoy. Bishmoy means astonishment, right? Bishmoy rati. The expansion of the heart that takes a place upon witnessing something extraordinary is called Bishmoy. In Bishmoy, there is widening of the eyes. Like we see something wonderful, right? Widening of the eyes. Appreciative explanations. Oh, sorry. Appreciative explanations. Now, like in sport, when some guy does a shot from halfway or something, basketball. Right? And horripilation. When astonishment arises from seeing the uncommon pastimes of Krishna, and also receives nourishment from one of the primary nourishing giving emotions, the Mukhya Rati. So it comes, nourishes, then disappears. So Bishmoy may be an example when Krishna lifted Govardhan, like that. Then the gopis, one mood, Vatsalya Ras, another mood. So this astonishment comes, then goes. Utsaha. Utsaha means enthusiasm, the rati of enthusiasm. A very firm attachment and urgency to carry out one's aspired activity of fighting, giving charity, giving mercy, or performing religious duties. This is called utsaha. Like in the morning, every morning Krishna has to do some exercise. What exercise is there? Wrestling. No. So utsaha has to be there. No. So Krishna eager to wrestle, Sri Dham also eager. No. But not always. It comes and goes. And I'm sure there'll be some examples here. Sok means grief and sorrow. The sorrow and grief that one experiences in the heart due to separation from one's beloved or upon perceiving that some calamity has befallen the beloved is called shok. Like when Putana took baby Krishna and ran off. No, she put poison on her breast. She came in disguise so beautiful even Brijbasi become bewildered. Who is she? Goddess of fortune? But Goddess of fortune always carries a lotus, but she has no lotus. Like all Brijbasis talking about Putana's beauty. So when she entered that time, Rohini was there, Yasoda was there they were swinging Krishna on a palanquin, baby Krishna. So immediately she came, what you're doing, keeping a child on a palanquin? You don't know, child should be on the lap. No. Why are you putting him on palanquin? So much Vatsalya, so much of parental affection she showed, even Yasoda for a moment thinking maybe this is real mother of Krishna, how much she loved him. Then on her breast she had put very strong poison to kill him. Then Krishna took the breast to drink, but no milk. Right? Like when you put your dollar in the coin and no drink machine. Krishna began squeezing defective breast. What's going on? So Krishna squeezing so hard, so much pain. Then Putana thought, who will save me with the strength? Putana had the strength of 10,000 elephants. She tried to push Krishna down, but she could not. Then she became who will protect me from this child? Kamsa will protect me. But Kamsa's in Mathura. How to get there very quickly? She took her original form. I think she was 12 miles high. Imagine. And she ran. But on the way, Krishna took her life. So when Yasoda saw, after Yasoda was like middle-aged when she had a child, like 50 years old maybe. So long waiting. Then you get a child, then after 7 days, Putana comes and takes away. Then this soak, Yasoda feeling so much, oh my son has, like this lamenting, So it comes, it nourishes the original feeling of Vatsalya, then it goes away again. Krodh, the inflammation of the heart, right? When someone's angry, what's not good for their heart? Sometimes Gurudev becomes so angry, Madhav Maharaj, no, don't be angry, don't be angry. Well, because inflammation of the heart, krodh, that takes place when confronted with hostility is called krodh or anger. In krodh there is harshness, frowning, and redness of the eyes. Right, Padabja?
Yes.
When anger arises in relation with Krishna and is nourished by Parata Mukhirati, it transforms into krodh. It's of two types. Krishna Vibhav, having Krishna as the object, and Krishna Vairi Vaibhav, having Krishna's enemy as the object. Like in Vatsalya. Like Madhisoda bound Krishna to the tree, to the grinding mortar, as punishment. Then she went away busy then Krishna went outside to play. So when Krishna grinding mortar got struck and Krishna pulled, then the two Arjun trees fell like that. Huge noise with these trees were huge. Like today we saw the sequoias. I don't know if they were that big, but fell. Such a noise, then everyone came running. Then baby Krishna, he was in the middle of the two trees. That time it described Rohini become too much angry at Yasoda. Krodh. Oh, you almost killed him by doing this foolishness. So we heard. Rohini become angry. Nanda Baba also become too much angry at Madhya Soda. So these are all manifestations of ecstasy. No? Also, when some demon finishes Krishna, then like when Putana was killed, people were saying, how could this small child kill Putana? Impossible. Or then Putana died by her own sins. That's what Bhagavatam says. So Brijabasi feel angry at her? No. This is also one ecstasy. Boy, fear. Extreme agitation and restlessness of the heart that is experienced upon committing some offense or seeing a dreadful object is called boy, fear. Sometime Krishna, when Putana came, then he closed his eyes like a child. No? When this fear arises in relation to Krishna, it is called boirati. And jugupsa, disgust. Anyway, I'm sure they'll give some examples of disgust. Like when Krishna entered the wrestling arena of Kamsa, then he killed Kuvalyapid, so some blood was on him from the dead elephant. So they saw Krishna also like with disgust. You know? It said when lifting Govardhan, he smelled the old yogurt because it was 7 days under there. No? Then Krishna also jujupsa, some disgust at that. So anyway, who can go too much into this? But we should know there's 5 main Mukhya-ratis, and how many Gauni-ratis, Padabja?
7.
Good guess. Okay. So, right. Take it. So Bhakti Ras. When Mukhya-rati or Gauni-rati, like why we're doing all this, and all the emotions expressed in the Bhagavatam, these all are transformations of ecstasy. Like laughing, astonishment, heroism. No? Like when Krishna killed Bhakasura, and Krishna little boasting like that. No? This also, the boys also boasting. Today what my Krishna did, he did like this and that. Compassion. So these all have different colors if you really want to go into it. Who can, Vishnunath, who can, therefore you can understand by these writings, these devotees are not ordinary. No? So each ras has a color and a presiding deity. Right? Santa-rasa is white. Dasya-rasa is multicolored. Friendship is reddish-brown, like Padabja's dhoti, Padabja's chadar. Vatsalya is deep red, parental affection. Madhura-rasa is dark, sham-colored. And the Gauni-rasas also have their own colors. Hasya-rasa is yellow-white. Astonishment is brown. Vira is fair. Compassion is smoke-colored. Anger is saffron red. Fear is black. And disgust is nila, blue. And each have their presiding deities, but we'll just give pranam to that. The 12 rasas react on the mind in 5 different ways. And thus Bhakti Rasa is tasted in 5 varieties. Okay, so at least we'll talk about Santa-rasa. No? How Santa-rasa is filled of these 5 ingredients: Vibhav, Sthai Bhav, Sanchari Bhav, Yabachari, and Sattvic Bhav. No? If someone have greed for Santa-rasa, of course in Vrindavan there's no pure Santa-rasa. No, Santa-rasa generally means like trees, like stones. But in Vrindavan, all the trees also have different feelings, like, but when Krishna walks, they bow down and offer their fruits to Krishna. Maybe like parental affection, by maintaining Krishna. Even the stones like Govardhan, they have Madhurya Ras. So it's said in Vrindavan there's no pure ras, pure Santa-rasa. It's mixed with other rasas. But still it exists. So what's the definition of Shant Bhakti Ras? Shantarati, which is the Staibhav. What are the qualities of Shantaras? Okay, we'll get onto that later. If Shantarati Staibhav mixed with the elements of Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvic and Vyabhachari, which are appropriate, it becomes very tasteful in the hearts of the devotees, who are predominated by equanimity. This is called Shanti Bhakti Ras. Shant Bhakti Ras by the learned. No? Who's the object of Shantaras? Krishna. Who is Krishna? There's so much predominance of Tattva Gyan. Who is Krishna? The personification of eternality, knowledge and bliss. He is the Guru of the Atmarams, the self-satisfied personalities. The Parabrahma with human-like appearance. God in human-like form. So with Shantaras is too much knowledge of Krishna's position. What qualities are there in Krishna? He is always peaceful. Like most of the yogis, they're in Shantaras. Who they meditate on? Super soul. We discussed all this a little bit yesterday. So when you read the Purusha Sukta, the prayers to Lord Vishnu, Santa Karanam, always peaceful. Therefore, Lord Vishnu is not stealing butter, not fighting with people, not telling lies. No, always peaceful. He is peaceful. He endures intolerable distress. He is free from sins and purifies others of sins. Vishnu is in full control of his senses, not like Krishna. Sometimes Yasoda chastises. When Krishna lifted Govardhan, Yasoda chastised. Restless boy, now look what you've done. Look what trouble you've got yourself into with this mountain and all this trouble with Indra. You have no control of your mind or senses, naughty fellow. So Shantarasa is the complete opposite of that. He is in full control of his senses. He's never controlled by Maya. Right? These are all qualities. He bestows muktis on those people killed by him. He is omnipresent, Vibhu. Those who are situated in Shantaras, like the four Kumaras, are attracted to Paramatma and the four-handed form of Narayan. Narayan is a Vilasmurti of Krishna. He is the Lord of Vaikuntha, the majestic realm in the spiritual sky. Their attraction is not towards the two-handed form of Krishna. So who they meditate on? Vishnu, four-handed form in the heart. The yogis think of him. Or Narayan. So that is how they meditate on Krishna. Krishna stealing butter, Krishna dancing in Raslila. This is not the meditation of the Shantarasas. The Shanta Bhaktas, what's their main quality? Equal to everyone. One time Didi was saying, I remember, she was talking about Madhusudana Maharaj. She said, he's like Yudhisthira, he have no enemies. Means many people don't like him, but he never think anyone is my enemy. Then Didi said that to me, and I said, I cannot be like that. And Didi said, neither can I. That was very funny, I thought. So the Shantaras, devotee, always equal to everyone. One time, one yogi, he was speaking like this. Oh, Gurudev is great. Gurudev is great. And then afterward, then I was talking to one Vaishnava. They said, yes, for them, Narayan Maharaj and the stone is same. And that way, great. That is their understanding. So, the devotees who are attracted to meditate on Krishna In that way, they're the Ashraya Lambana of this ras. Means Shantarati, always in their heart. There are two types of Shantaras devotees. Atmaram, means they don't need anyone or anything, self-satisfied. And Tapasvigan, those who do big austerities. They never feel separation from Krishna, because Krishna is in their heart, Atmaram. So therefore, their mamata, their attachment to Krishna, their possessiveness, their mood of service, they're all practically non-existent. But what are the qualities? They have no material desire. Devotees in Shantaras have no material desire. No? And also they're fixed. They never forget Krishna for a moment. So who are devotees like that? The four Kumaras, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar. They are devoid of possessiveness for Krishna. They never feel Krishna is mine because they have no attachment to anything, Atmaram. They are firmly fixed in the Supreme Lord, Bhagavad Nishta. Their minds don't go anywhere else. And they also preach the path of bhakti. Right? Four Kumaras also have their own sampradaya. Right? Guru Maharaj would sometimes say, in the Nimbaka Sampradaya of the four Kumaras, they do not believe in separation. What separation? Radha Krishna always together. No? Because in Vaikuntha there's no separation of Lakshmi Narayan, always together. But in Gaudiya Sampradaya we give too much emphasis to Vidaha. We give emphasis to separation.
So Gurudev, they're aware of Radha Krishna. I mean, they consider Radha Krishna, but they meditate on Narayana.
Even they worship, even they think of Radha Krishna, for them they're just like the same as Lakshmi Narayan. Like Rupa Goswami wrote, Karunam Kurumai Kurunam Bodhite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charita. Even the four Kumar, O Radhika, Kurunam Kurumai Kurunam Bodhite. You are full of mercy, Radhika. Kuruna Bodhite, full of mercy. The four Kumaras always meditate on you. Vanita Charite. So even the four Kumaras always glorify Radharani. No? Means Rupa Goswami want to say Radharani cannot be a material woman because the four Kumaras are the best brahmacharis. Who is brahmachari? Who never talks to woman, never thinks of woman, never speaks with woman, and all these things. And who's the best of the four? Who is the best brahmacharis? Four Kumaras. So the four Kumaras always glorify Radharani. Radharani cannot be any material woman. That's why Rupa Goswami. But for them, meditating on Radharani, meditating on Narayan is the same thing, because they have no mamata to any specific form. Like when Gopakumar went to Tapalok, the planet of the four Kumaras, he's too much restless to see cowherd boy Krishna, because he's in Santa-rasa. Then four Kumaras, what you doing, you know? Stupid. Bhagavan is everywhere. Just meditate on him. Like this. And their meditation so deep, they become like one with that object of meditation. So the four Kumaras were showing them, I am Narayan, I am Ram, I am two-handed Krishna, like this. One by one they were showing him different forms of the Lord. Because Santa-rasa. But still they couldn't convince Gopakumar. No, because Gopakumar have too much mamata, prema. So he cannot live, he cannot think just by meditating. You know, like Padabja, imagine we came home from Sequoias and he's very hungry. And we say, Padabja, just meditate on Khichdi. How would you feel?
Very good.
Now you feel good because your stomach's full. But when your stomach was empty, you couldn't tolerate it, so you had to have yesterday's cold spaghetti. Means if someone has full stomach, they're happy by meditation, no problem. But someone's hungry and you tell them to meditate, they'll strangle you.
Wait till later.
Huh?
Wait till tonight.
Wait. I didn't mention anything about Wookiees. So the Gopakumaras could not understand, the four Kumaras could not understand the restlessness of Gopakumar. Why you want to see Bhagavan by eyes? Just see him in the mind, do meditation. No? So that's the four Kumaras, even they talk about Radharani or meditate on the Astakala Leela of Radha Krishna. No? Who spoke all this about this Siddha Pranali, always meditate yourself like a 10-year-old girl with a sari, with meditation on the Swarup of the Jiva as a gopi. This all spoken by the four Kumaras. But they themselves are not in that mood, but they know they can do also that meditation. Because for them it's all the same. Understand? Yes, so all this Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions in Jaiva this all come from the four Kumaras made one Sanghita. It all comes from that. So they know all Tattva Siddhanta of everything, but they have their own mood, Santa-rasa. So the four Kumaras, devoid of mamata, devoid of possessiveness for Bhagavan, they are firmly fixed in the Supreme Lord, Bhagavad Nishta. They are devotees, but in Santa-rasa. So these are the Atmarams. And who are the Tapasvis? Those who adopt Yukta Vairagya, practice bhajan, knowing without bhakti you can never achieve liberation. These are called Tapas Shanta Bhaktas. Such persons have faith in bhakti only as a process of attaining mukti or liberation. As long as they take up the limbs of bhakti with a desire for mukti, Shantarati cannot appear in their hearts. So when such jnanis give up desire for liberation, that time Shantarasi appears. So even Shantaras, it said predominance of attraction to impersonal Brahman, a prominence of attachment to Paramatma is there. No, but they're not dry mumukshavatis. They're not dry chasers of liberation. They are devotees. But they have some, like Brahmagyanis, they do not insult Krishna's Swarup. They just have a little more attachment for the impersonal aspect. They are not Mayavadis. So this is called Ashraya Lamban. Who's Visaya Lamban? Narayan, the object of meditation. Who's Ashraya Lamban? The devotees like the four Kumars. What's the Staibhav?
Shantaras.
Shantarati. Right. Udipan. Which stimulates the mood of such devotees. No? Hearing the Upanishads. Upanishads never directly mention the name Krishna or Govinda, nothing. It's always Brahm, Parabrahma, like this. So hearing the Upanishads, living in a secluded place. No. Devotees, we like to live together because we can discuss Harikatha. But Shantaras, they're off by themselves in a cave in the Himalayas. Krishna appearing in the heart, which is saturated with Sudha Sattva. They meditate on Krishna. Discussing Tattva, Tattva Vichar. They too much respect the Gyan Shakti, Vidya Shakti. They like to see the universal form. What Krishna showed Arjuna, the Virat Rup, that is Vishnu. No? And Shantaras, they like Narayan or Vishnu. No? So they too much like the universal form. When Arjuna saw the universal form, he became unhappy. But because Arjuna is friend of Krishna. Advaita Charya is different because he's Sadashiv. Sadashiv means Shantaras. When Lord Chaitanya was pleased with Advaita Charya, hey, Hava! Serious discussion. Mahaprabhu had asked Advaita, what do you want? And Advaita Charya asked, I want the benediction. I want to see the universal form. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed him, Advaita Charya fell unconscious. They always like the association of sadhus or jnani bhaktas who reside in the mountains and forests. They like discussion of the Upanishads with people who are equally knowledgeable. These are the Udipans of Shantaras. like just now was Kumbh Mela. No? Then Prabhupada said all these yogis who live in the caves and very isolated, then they only come down once every 12 years for this Kumbh Mela, otherwise no one can see them. And what also gives stimulus to their moods? No? The fragrance of tulsis on the lotus feet of Krishna. Right? When the four Kumaras, before they were impersonalists, but they heard of Bhagavan's form from Lord Brahma, and they developed greed. Oh, meditation on Narayan will be much better than meditation on Nirgun Brahma. So with his greed, they went to Vaikuntha. But Jai Vijay stopped them. No? Because maybe Lakshmi Narayan inside doing some personal husband and wife thing. Anyone can then just walk inside. So when Jai Vijay stopped the four Kumaras, they become too much angry. And they curse them. You guys are like demons. You are seeing duality. But here in Vaikuntha is no duality. So we curse you, take 3 births as demons. Hearing this, Lord Narayan came outside, the first time they'd seen him. Actually, this is Vishnu, Lord Narayan. Lord Vishnu also has his own Vaikuntha in the material world. So that's where they went. And they saw him first time, so graceful, so handsome. And when his speech was like nectar, and also so kind. Narayan said, yes, yes, you gave good punishment. Anyone disrespect my devotees. Even this hand, Narayan said, even this hand to go against my devotees, I also cut off this hand. Means how noble, how affectionate, and especially the 4 Kumaras smelt the tulsi leaf mixed with sandalwood paste on the feet of Narayan. When that fragrance went in their nose, they gave up impersonalism, became devotees. So the fragrance of tulsi mixed with on the feet of the Lord, the sound of conch shell, Padabja's going to blow it now. Sacred mountains, holy forests, holy places, especially Badrik Ashram. No. Badrik Ashram is the place of Narayan Rishi. Narayan Rishi came as Krishna and Arjuna. Narayan means Bhagavan. Nara means the best devotee. They're both doing, even now in Kali Yuga, they're both doing meditations to give example to the world. So where Narayan Rishi live, they live in Badrik Ashram. 4 holy they call Char Dham in the Himalayas. Kedarnath, the place of Lord Shiva. Badrinath, the place of Lord Narayan. Gangotri and Yamunotri. So mostly all yogis live up there. The Ganga, the perishability of material objects, the all-devouring element of time. These are all udipans which give stimulus and ras to their meditations. So they're always discussing these things.
Don't they also live in Vrindavan?
Well, they can live
Because,
anywhere.
It's mixed. It seems that we're such a mix of.
Can live anywhere, but generally Vrindavan so much. But still, there are guys there who live in the middle of nowhere, even in Brajamanda. But I don't know, I cannot say too much. Anubhavs. This Santa-rasa in the heart, then Anubhavs. What are the activities of the body? Staring at the tip of the nose. Behaving as an avadut, beyond all social norms. Indifference. When they walk, they always look 6 feet in front of them. They're not looking at this and that. These are anubhavs of Santa-rasa. Exhibiting the Gyan Mudra. Show us, Padabja. These are the anubhavs. Like you always see the photos of the yogis. How much real, I don't know in Kali Yuga, but anyway. No. Absence of malice towards those who are averse to the Lord, because they have no attachment. They also have no special affection for anyone, including devotees. They maintain great respect for Siddhanta, They have great respect for liberation. They have no absorption in the gross and subtle body. They're always indifferent to everything. They have no sense of proprietorship. This is mine. Freedom from false ego. Observance of silence. Many guys, you see them, they don't speak, but they just write notes. When I was in South India, one American came to our, it was Mayavad ashram. Then one American came, and he had nowhere to stay. I told you, you stay in my room. But he never spoke. And one day, he was there a few days, one day he just started looking at me and writing. And then he showed me this, and he told me one day of my life, like 3-4 years before. I went to a yoga ashram, and I got off the train station. I just slept in the train station, and then I didn't know where the ashram was. Then a guy gave me a ride on a motorcycle through the coal fields, and I was looking at the coal fields. Then I came to the ashram, and just looking at him, and he was writing everything from morning to the whole day. Means even he knew probably knew past, present, future. At least he knew the past. Just some American guy, and that was some mystic cities. Anyway, observance of silence. American. Can you believe it?
No, can't.
Deep absorption in the Gyan Shastras, especially Upanishads. These are all anubhavs of Santa-rasa, right? These are their bodily activities. What are the special anubhavs? Giving instructions on bhakti, doing pranam to Bhagavan, yawning. These are all the special anubhavs. What are the sattvic bhavs? They shed tears, their hair stand on end, they perspire, they tremble, but they never lose consciousness. Because that's their life and soul. If someone too much happy or too much sad, then they lose consciousness. But Shanta devotee, never too much happy, never too much sad, so they never lose consciousness. This is sattvic bhavs. Right there. You're following it all? Yes. Vyabhachari, remember the transitory emotions which come and go like waves? What are the vyabhacharis of this? Nirved, self-disgust. What is this body disgusting? Dhriti, fortitude, determination. Harsh, jubilation. Mati, conviction. Smriti, remembrance. Vishad, despondency. Outsaukya, desire for liberation or something. Excitement. Vitarka, deliberation. Vitarka means like scriptural argument. The staibhav of Santa-rasa is Shantarati. Shantarati is two types, equality and condensed. When a Shanta Bhakta is absorbed in asampragyat samadhi, like our Param Gurudev, Bhakti Pragyan, a very special form of knowledge that is Bhakti. So asampragyat samadhi. In meditation, all the functions of the mind disappear and one only sees the form of Brahman, the Lord in which one meditates. That time you don't even see yourself because you don't even need a form because you're not doing any service, right? Hey. When a Shanta Bhakti is absorbed in asampragyat samadhi, or meditation in which all the functions of the mind disappear and one sees only the form of Brahman, the Lord manifests in his heart. The rati which he experiences for the Lord is called samashanta rati. Right. So sometimes the Lord appears in his meditation, sometimes appears directly. Right. Comment. I'll read this comment, then we'll move. Maybe Dasirad a little bit will speak tonight also. It may be noted that if Nandanandan Krishna is especially merciful towards someone, then even if he was previously fixed in Gyan, he attains a super excellent quality of Rati, which far exceeds that of Santa-rati. Right? This is Krishna we're talking about. When his Gyan samskars become slackened, he may even become expert in the bliss of Bhakti Ras, as is the case of Sukadev Goswami. An example of this is given when we see Bilva Mangal. Many impersonalists, special mercy of Krishna, they become devotees. Like Sukadev Goswami in his first stage. When he was born, he had no attachment to anyone or anything. So when he was born, immediately he became 16 years old and immediately went to the forest. No, even the umbilical cord not cutting, nothing. Chalo. So his father chased behind him, my son, my son. But Sukadev Goswami gave no answer. No. So there were many young girls taking bath, they were all naked. But Sukadev Goswami, sama means equal. What's in Hindi, firewood's called lakri, hava. Что такое?
I'm just looking like Sita.
No. So in Hindi, firewood is called lakri, and a young girl is called ladki. So what's the difference between lakri and ladki? For him is no difference. So normally a girl would be too much ashamed if she was like in the forest without clothes. But when they saw his mentality, he had no interest. They also felt no shame or no problem. So they not covered themselves when they saw his mentality. They could understand. But when Vyas came running behind, then the girls, they covered themselves. Then Vyas was shocked. He said, my son is 16 years old, naked and handsome like Cupid. When you see him, you feel no shame. But when you see me, I'm like Jagannath's grandfather. So old, beard down to here. And you see me and you feel shame. Then the girls answered, oh, Vyas, you see this world, but your son does not see. So Sukadev Goswami, this is called, he was like Brahmavadi. For him, Brahman is everywhere. And so no attachment to anything, no devotee. Then Sukadev, Vyasadeva had many disciples, but he thought no one like this, no one of this standard, like no material desires. So he thought if any, he gave other scriptures to other disciples, but Bhagavatam Vyas had not given to anyone. He not considered other disciples qualified. No? He thought of all person, this boy is most qualified. But what to do? He's a Brahmagyani, impersonalist. So there was one, Hava, do you want to go in the child's prison? Okay, don't. So, Vyasadeva had many disciples. One was a bird hunter. So Vyasadeva taught him one verse of the Bhagavatam. Barhabitam natavadavapu kanyo kanikaram briprad vasaka kanasam bhajantim chimalam randam adasute punayat yathabrinde brindaranya swapadanam pravishad gita kite. Gopis spoke this verse. When Krishna enters the forest in the morning, when he goes cow grazing, he's playing his flute, he has a banamala, flower garland around his neck. He's very dark like a rain cloud with peacock feather. His eyes are also like lotus. How attractive he looks in the morning. So sweet. And the cowherd boys surrounding him also make him look even more beautiful as they chant, Sadhu, Sadhu, very great, very great. Very great is our Krishna. So this describes the form of Krishna, from top, peacock feather down. So Vyasadeva said, any trouble in the forest, you chant this verse. So as this bird catcher was moving, he was singing this verse, just singing this song, this verse he learned from Vyas. So Sukadeva was absorbed in meditation, but this verse pierced his consciousness. And because his heart was clean, the form of Krishna woke in his heart, immediately upon hearing the verse. We chant Hare Krishna, we sing Radha Krishna. No. But pure devotee hears Hare Krishna, immediately Radha Krishna come in their mind. So Sukadeva was like touching electric wire. What is this? He'd never seen anything so attractive. Krishna's form. So he grabbed this, Sukadeva grabbed this other guy by the neck. Because so attractive. But what are his qualities? Maybe someone's beautiful but very cruel or very selfish, then that beauty becomes spoiled. So Sukadeva grabbed him. What are his qualities? Like a mad person. It said he had sticks and twigs in his hair and like mad, naked. So this mad person jumped out of the forest. What are his qualities? And the man became afraid, but he didn't know any qualities. He only knew one verse. So he ran away out of fear. And he told Vyasadeva this happened. Then Vyasadeva said, if it happens again, I'll tell you another verse, Krishna's qualities. What is that? Anyway, Krishna was so kind. Putana came to kill him with poison on her breast, but Krishna gave her position like her mother. What's the verse? Anyway, this is his qualities. And he's not just handsome, so merciful, so kind. So when the boy was walking the forest, again he was singing this verse with the qualities. Then Sukadeva came out like a madman again. So kind, so merciful. So then the boy, that bird catcher, took Sukadeva to Vyasa, and from him he heard the Bhagavatam. So Krishna gives special mercy, then even an impersonalist, Sukadeva Goswami was not Santa-rasa, he was an impersonalist. With special mercy of Krishna, he became devotee. So Bilva Mangal also, actually that's right, this morning I forgot. Anyway, we're talking about different persons from previous life. Actually, this is what I meant last night. We were a little perving on the festival, the Qatar there. Even one, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Even one line of the verse they cannot say properly, and now they're all Rupanuga Acharyas. Goodness me. So, Bilva Mangal in his last life was sannyasi, liberated soul. And he had many disciples. But problem is, many disciples means you have to feed them all, right? So he was always in tension, how can I get money to feed and do festivals? He always had a tension. So he would go to the king, but how many times can one guy give a donation? After some time, it's like, oh my God, not him again, right? So the king had a daughter, a princess, that means very expensive jewelry, nose ring, jewels, bracelets, ankle bells. So the king's daughter died. And some people are not cremated. Not like sadhus, sannyasis, generally not cremated. People who commit suicide, also not cremated. They're just thrown in the river. And like virgin girls, like princesses, also not cremated. They're buried. Special type of souls. So Bilva Mangal went to the funeral, and the girl was buried full of jewelry. And Bilva Mangal was, there's the next feast. So he went to the funeral, didn't say anything, but he made a plan nighttime, I'm going to come. Right? It's a true story. So he came nighttime, and he went down to touch the girl to remove the jewelry. But she was high-class girl, never been with anyone. So the ghost was still there. Generally you cremate, then that's why they cremate the body, so the soul goes quickly to its next destination. That's why ghosts always, where do they live? Graveyards. Because so much attachment to the body, they're not willing to give that up. Therefore ghosts mostly hang out in graveyards and stuff. So the ghost of the girl was still there. So when the sannyasi, Bilva Mangal, he reached to catch her hand and pull off the jewelry, then the ghost was still there. Then she became angry. I never touched any man whole life, and you're such a debauchee. You've come And you're touching me. You're a shameless guy. So I curse you. You're so much proud of being sannyasi. I curse you, become a debauchee. A prostitute hunter. And Bilvamangal become angry. Come on, I'm just doing for the good of the ashram. So he cursed her. Okay, you become a prostitute. You're so much proud of your chastity. Become a prostitute. They both cursed each other. So next life, Bilvamangal, even though he was liberated sannyasi, became a woman hunter. You know the story of Bilvamangal, right? Everyone knows? Yes, Santa-rasa, just say yes. And that girl, high-class girl, became prostitute. So this is very nice verse. Bilvamangal here says, Advaita veti pati upashyamana swananda singhasana labda diksha. He was an impersonalist who became devotee. So he wrote this verse. Advaita viti pate upashyamana. Who was I? I was like the guru of the Mayavadis, Advaita, the Advaitavadis. Advaita vit pati keru pashyamana. I was worshipped even by other liberated souls on the path of monism. Swananda Singhasana Labda Diksha. I was giving Diksha. And what was I sitting on? Swananda Singhasana Labda Diksha. I was sitting on a throne made of my own personal ecstasy. Atmaram, right? But I don't know what happened. Satena kenapi vayam hetena dasi krit gopa vadu vitena. I don't know what happened to me. I was in such a great position, but a very lusty cowherd boy by force caught my hand and made me into his dasi, made me into his maidservant. Very beautiful verse. This in Bilvamangal Thakur's this. Krishna Karunamrita. A little bit have to now mention Bilvamangal, otherwise Santa-rasa will be forever bewildered. So he was a prostitute hunter. Next, he was cursed, always chasing women. But which woman he was after? This one he'd cursed to be a prostitute. Her name was Chintamani. So on the day of his father's funeral, he was so lusty. He not even went for his father's funeral. Imagine every son, no matter how bad, will go to the funeral of the father. But he was so lusty he couldn't go. No, I'm going to meet this prostitute. So how to cross the river? There was a dead body. You know when people die and they blow up like that? They call them floaters. Anyway, in Australia they do. So how to cross the river? He found a dead body, he used that like a surfboard. Imagine. No shame, no fear. So much attached to this girl. Then he came, but no one could hear him because so heavy rain was there. And she was living behind a wall. There was a snake. He grabbed the snake and pulled himself over. No fear. Then when she saw him, covered in, you could imagine the smell and the mud. And how you got here, she asked. And he told. And she was not ordinary girl, no. Just some circumstance she became that. So she chastised him. You lusty rascal. You have so much attachment to this material body. If you had one drop of the same attachment for this material body that you did for Krishna, who has such an Ananda Swarup, your life would be perfect. So her words were like a spear which pierced him and awakened his previous condition. Liberated soul. Anyway, so formerly I was an object of worship for those who traversed the path of monism. The advocates of the path of impersonal Brahmagyan used to worship me, thinking me to be very great. Being seated on the throne of Brahmananda realization, I used to receive their adorations. But some cunning ravisher of the young wives of the cowherds, Gopijana Vallabha Nandanandan Sri Krishna, somehow has forcibly made me into his maidservant. It is evident from this that the uncommon mercy of Sri Shyamasundar touches even those in Brahmagyan, and they attain a glimpse of the splendid charmingness of his lotus feet. They forget all their previous practice. They also become engaged in bhakti. So even the impersonalists can become devotees, but they'll become in Santa-rasa. Okay, it's quite late. Saturday morning, who's leaving? Tomorrow's Ekadasi. Don't miss. Okay, so after morning class. We'll finish Das and Sak in the morning. Okay, any questions? So there's a big difference between devotees in Shantarati and the impersonalist. Big difference. Look the same, little externally, but not. Okay? Go Premanandi. What Ekadasi is tomorrow?
I don't know. The one after Pandavanyurjal Ekadashi.
It's my second Ekadasi in the prison. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, about the 7 secondary rasas. One is anger. So anger not compatible with this mood of Shanta, right? Because conflicting. So when conflicting comes, it's not proper, then it's called rasa bas. Well, there's one answer. Probably disgust also is not applicable. Because what they discussed are that. For them, everything is the same. Okay, Hare Krishna. We should offer this guy some sabji and rice.
Yeah.